I love it when we ask someone a question and they actually dare to say something. So you guys can now say, what do you guys think about the Kabashar top 2? He did play really well.
Well, my personal top 2 would be Odoamne.
Agreed.
And Visichachi. I think in terms of what they do in terms of team contribution is really big and something that needs to be considered. And also the fact that they play their lane phase as well really, really well. And of course, I kind of forgot Huni. So that's my top 3, I guess.
Yeah, mine would actually be almost exactly the same as yours. So I'm not copying him. He just said it before me.
Sure.
I might put Huni above Visichachi, though.
Yeah, I would too, actually.
Right.
Still have Odo number 1.
Of course. How can you not? Let's actually stay on the topic of top laners in this one, because Youngbuck was someone that we had our eyes on together with Kabashar, who in the laning phase actually did quite well. Yamato, you had a couple of things to say about Joey's performance, and he even got first blood in this one.
I think, like, lane phase-wise, he played it out correctly. He just needs to sit back and not get harassed too much and simply push out when he can. And in this matchup, you can easily punish the cannon with the Maokai. It's really, really easy to set up ganks, and he played that out correctly. And with that being said, I would like to take this chance to basically protect Youngbuck a bit, because people are really quick to judge based on what they see. Well, Youngbuck has been around for so long, and that is for a reason. People need to start thinking about things that happen that are not visible in the game. For example, in terms of communication and what he does for the team in other regards.
And something I don't know if everyone noticed, but Kinnan actually got a leash from Tristana to take double golems, and Diamond stopped the Maokai saplings to take the wraiths. So they actually put a lot of force into their top lane, not without ganks, for the first 5 minutes, but the level 1 strat was purely based around Kabashard.
Yeah.
And then as the game went on, actually, the Copenhagen Wolves, they got an early advantage. What did you make of the rest of it? You guys mentioned, well, whoever engages is going to win the fight and is going to win the game.
It's like, on paper, when you take a look at their team comps, it's fairly obvious that the team that engages is going to win. And in the mid game, we saw Copenhagen Wolves getting caught a lot, which gave Gambit the edge in terms of objectives. And when the actual fight started, I think the one in particular, Drake, when Kennen TP'd, is like the key point of what happened in the game.
Yeah, let's actually get the replay up on the screen to take a look at that. And sorry for Youngbuck, but he did drop the ball here a little bit. Probably take us through this one.
So this fight actually starts off with Gambit engaging, and Kabashard is 2 seconds ahead of Youngbuck in terms of TPing. So they already burn Flash from Freeze, and Soren has to ult out. So the fight is like already won because Soren's damage is gone and Graves' damage. So Youngbuck actually has good positioning in terms of he's in front of all the carries, but the fight just started off bad,
Yeah.
And a little bit further up, when Gambit was doing the Baron, I actually thought it was a good call by Youngbuck to go in and sell the team. It's just that the rest of his team didn't get there in time and couldn't really capitalize. A couple of things from Gambit. Kabashard obviously doing well. Diamond doing well once again on champions that he has fun on. Poor Rider said, Juwani, how can you not have fun on that one? Let's talk about Betsy a little bit, coming in here as a substitute. If you were a coach of that team, would you start bringing up the discussion of maybe we should keep him on as a permanent fixture?
If I was an IQ, I would be pretty scared right now. Based on like the performances, I heard some statistic the other day about basically Betsy has performed better in two games than he has the entire split. I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, also for like the mid lane position, excuse me, if you have someone who's just mechanically really, really strong, like Betsy is, the communication thing will come afterwards. So the fact that he can just 1v1 every mid laner, I mean, he killed Vivivin last week, he held his own this whole time, means things can like only get better. Because you can't really talk less when you're just brand new in a team.
Yeah, it was impressive also and said just good performance by him and by Gambit all around with half of the week behind us. Let's check out the standings in this one. SK Gaming, they're no longer alone in first place as Fnatic joins them in their top spot. H2K are 1 game behind them, rounding out the top 3, while the Copenhagen Wolves, Gambit, and the Unicorns of Love are locked in fourth. Probably you must be feeling pretty good right about now.
Yes, I'm happy to be a part of the team that I'm on right now. It's really nice. It's kind of it's a blessing to have them choose me.
What do you guys make of the Fnatic SK Gaming now tied at the top of the table? Did you see that coming?
I think it could have been predicted in a way, simply because SK Gaming, I talked about earlier, about how their strategy is kind of flawed when it's played against better teams. And always in the start of the season, teams are going to start to establish themselves and kind of find their place. And when, in terms of thinking how the playoffs are going to go off, I think Fnatic is going to be better than SK at the end.
Very interesting. Talk about team performance. Shifting now to individual performances. There was one player that really stepped up today with 7 kills, 11 assists, and a 90% kill participation in a dominant performance as Nidalee earlier today. Our fantasy LCS leader is the Unicorns of Love's Kikis with 32 points. Pulling out that Nidalee again, he actually didn't last week, maybe not knowing how it would be on the patch, but Nidalee is definitely something just to grab those fantasy points with.
Yeah, she is like such a really good early ganker. So in LCS, if people are playing passive, she can like really take advantage of that. The only thing is, yeah, her team fight is not the strongest, but as long as you're going in hard early, like it works really well.
Yeah, there will be plenty of time more for big play tomorrow as we start things off with H2K versus Giants Gaming. Fnatic will face the Copenhagen Wolves as they close in on the top of the tables, and SK Gaming will take on Elements in a twist on a classic LCS matchup. Guys, that Elements versus SK matchup, Yamato, it will prove if the change they made, if the foundation's there for Elements to build on, how much you think they can do.
I think the win, particularly for Elements today, was really important going into the matchup against SK Gaming. And with that in mind, I think it's going to be quite an even matchup, simply because of how things went for SK today.
Mm-hmm. What do you make of the slide of SK Gaming 0-3 after going 8-0? It seems like it could be slippery.
Dude, this guy is just reading my mind because he's saying everything I would actually say. Like, yeah, Elements has kind of, got a little bit of momentum right now. They're kind of feeling good. And that's like the best time to play League is like when you're winning and, you feel good about everything. And then SK, on the other hand, they're like, they're kind of not in a rut, but they're, on a losing spree right now. So it's kind of like if they can, figure out whatever is bringing them down, I think they can hold their own. But I don't know. I think it is going to be really close to 50-50. I'll say 55 to SK, just so we fight.
He doesn't like predictions, but...
I'm actually leaning towards Elements. I kind of have to do it after the loss today.
Yeah.
We're fighting.
There we go. We'll see you tomorrow. And of course, we'll be joined by more LCS coaches throughout the day. The action all starts at 6 p.m. Central European Time. That is 9 a.m. Pacific. That is all from us here in Berlin, though. I'd like to thank Prolly, Yamato, Cannon, and all the coaches that joined us on the desk today for Insight. On behalf of myself and the live broadcast crew, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you tomorrow.